we've been in this conflict with North Korea for years, absolute years. And since Donald Trump has been president, now there's like this beef, going on between him and Kim Jong Un. And, there's like they're trading barbs through the media, trying to be tough.
Fire and fury.
Yeah, fire and fury, this and that. Just recently, there were some sanctions that President Trump signed. Do you think these sanctions are going to work to, I guess, quell all of this tension and to get North Korea to stand down?
Because the sanctions don't like the sanctions don't apply to all countries they import and export to. It might cause a dent, but like I said, they import and export to various amount of countries that haven't signed any kind of sanctions on them.
This system of attempting to coerce North Korea is not working, and we're having sort of a trade-off now of provocations between South Korea and the United States versus North Korea. And in particular, what North Korea has a problem with are these war exercises, which are basically bombing runs. They are mock nuclear attacks, first strike nuclear attacks, which are being rehearsed by South Korea and the United States. So this is very frightening. The U.S. has had a policy of a first nuclear strike against North Korea. We've had that first strike policy. We've been rehearsing that first strike. So any country in their right mind is going to want to develop a nuclear weapon. But the good thing, the really good thing, is that North Korea, as well as China and Russia, have consistently put on the table the offer to suspend any further nuclear tests or any further missile tests in exchange for the U.S. and South Korea suspending their war games. Then we can sit down and actually have a diplomatic solution. There are provocations on both sides. That's why you have an equal first step on both sides. These are just a moratorium, and let's see if they're held up. If that moratorium is not observed, we just go right back into it. But if the moratorium is observed, then we move forward. And the advantage is that it's North Korea not alone. It's also with China and Russia saying the same thing. We're in a Cold War situation right now, and there is no way forward here that doesn't basically escalate a very dangerous conflict, not just for the Korean Peninsula. This involves all of us. The exchange of nuclear weapons on the Korean Peninsula basically creates nuclear winter, which will kill hundreds of millions of people around the world.
Absolutely. The thing is, though, as I listen to you, Dr. Stein, it sounds as if you are supporting the positions of the North Korea, Russia, China alliance over that of the United States.
Actually, I'm supporting here the position of the South Korean people, who've been very clear that what they want, they are tired of war. You know, they don't even have a peace treaty. The Korean War is still on. There's an armistice, but the people of the Korean Peninsula, and especially in South Korea, have lived under the threat of war for decades now. They're really tired of it. They would like to move ahead by negotiating a peace treaty to a solution.
They have been living with this problem since the mid-1950s, certainly, and we're well aware of that. But again, it's the North Koreans who've added the provocation in launching missiles and testing.
Well, but remember where that came from. Long before they began their missile tests, the U.S. was conducting nuclear bombing runs against North Korea. We actually had nuclear weapons until the end of the Cold War. We actually had nuclear weapons stationed in South Korea. So this is very frightening to them. They've been basically cornered into feeling like they have to develop a nuclear weapon.
The worst point in that interview, what she said, just it sounds like you have the position of North Korea and China
alliance.
Oh, I mean, like you're not with the U.S.'s position.
No, what's our comeback?
I'm with the South Korean people that want to end all this crap, right? Who've been living under this Cold War situation for years, for decades. But what Alex Witt wants to do is say, or she wants to intimidate, or she wants to intimate that if the U.S. has a position, it must be right. And so if you're on the other side of that, you must be anti-U.S., you must be anti-American. She didn't say all that, but it was very coded language. There's a no first use policy that some countries, they claim. some countries will say that they will not use nuclear weapons unless they are attacked with nuclear weapons first. They will not use a nuclear weapon first. That's what they say. The U.S. does not have that policy at all. They have refused to invoke that policy. Instead, what they say is that they reserve the right to use nuclear weapons in case they are attacked or an ally is attacked with or without nuclear weapons. So under that kind of situation right there, if you are an enemy of the United States, you know, I know you shouldn't be invading other countries or whatever, but if there is some type of conflict that arises and you attack somebody or you're in a conflict with somebody, whatever, it doesn't even have to be you attacking. Maybe somebody attacks you and then you attack back, right? It could be that. But anyway, under that kind of scenario, they could be attacked with nuclear weapons because the U.S. reserves the right to use nuclear weapons.
If one person, not a country, just think about it like in like a more like a minuscule standpoint. If one person said, "I can have all the weapons, but y'all can't," like, what would you think about that person? What, you know what I'm saying?
I think like, whoa, you sound crazy.
Yeah.
I would think that you're trying to control me.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to control everything.
Everything.
Yeah, and not on some benevolent, you know, not on some
not on some righteous stuff.
Yeah.
No. You ain't trying to do what's right. You're just trying to have all the leverage, all the power, so you can do what you want to do.
No.
Unchecked.
It's for world peace, buddy. For world peace.
There's an article again on the Intercept. And it's called "We Can Stop North Korea from Attacking the U.S. All we have to do is not attack them." It sounds really simple, right? All we have to do is not attack them. We're not worried that we can't deter North Korea. We're worried because North Korea that can plausibly strike the U.S. with nuclear weapons will likely be able to deter us from doing whatever we want. For example, we might not be able to invade North Korea.
I mean, think about that, man. It's like, yo, man, I can't break into your house, dog. We gotta do something about that.
You got this lock on the
door,
man.
What's wrong with you, dog?
You gotta take this lock off.
You gotta take this lock off, man. But I'm trying to live in peace. If you want to live in peace, man, you gotta like take the security off and everything. No guns in your house. No locks.
Exactly.
In order to make me feel like, you know, like, get out of here.
And see, the whole point that all we got to do is not attack them. Think about if they attacked us.
How much, like, really, like,
that would be their immediate
destruction,
obliteration.
Yeah, and if they did
immediately,
it would just be like maybe an ant biting you.
It's like we've talked about Kim Jong Un. Being a megalomaniac, right? Of course he wants power. Of course, maybe he doesn't care about his people at all. Some of them die, whatever. But I think he wants to live. I think he wants to live.
He wants to live so he can be a megalomaniac.
Yeah, and by striking the United States, he's gonna die.
He is going to put that in jeopardy. He is a megalomaniac, but he ain't that dumb.